Hello, this is Halo Harry 2K9 and we are bringing you the main Easter egg guide for Liberty Falls. First off, I'd like to tell you what you receive for completing the Easter egg, whether you successfully exfil, continue or exit the game. You will receive the Raygun PJSRU skin for your Raygun. Please note it is a little bit bugged at the moment, and if you select it, it will apparently overwrite the skin for the Dream Smasher Wonder Weapon. I assume this is just a visual bug, and I'm sure it'll get patched very soon. Next up, you will receive 1 or 2 calling cards depending on when you complete this Easter egg. The first calling card is titled Liberty Falls Quest Complete Early, and this is only available before Treyarch add the guided Easter egg mode, so please try and get it while you can. Next, we have the Liberty Falls Quest Complete Standard, which is still pretty good and will presumably always be available even after the guided mode is released. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So first off, for the Easter egg, you want to open up the motel room door, which is fairly easy. You just go up the stairs, turn around the corner, and the zombies will reveal themselves out of the door. Once you have taken care of all the zombies, the room will be accessible, and there will be a workbench inside for the Thrustodyne M23, otherwise known as the jet gun, if you remember it from Black Ops 2. I would also like to take a moment to say that this Easter egg can be completed in solo and co-op with any amount of players. Next, you will need to open up the map till you can access the Pack-a-Punch at the church. This area will be a dark ether area and will look pretty cool once you're inside. Once you can access this area, you need to interact with the machine on the right hand side.
Your project data, for instance, in the null gravity field, with a little ingenuity, I'm sure you can retrieve it. Once we have enough parts to build a working LTG, then the shoe will be on the other foot.
After you have interacted with the machine, a character called Panos will start telling you some dialogue about how to proceed. After this is finished playing out, interact with the machine again. This will allow Panos to patch into your signal. Time to move on to the next step.
I have an acquaintance in town who can help you gather the LTG components. A local machinist named Tommy Joe, World War II veteran, moonshiner, tough as nails. Find him.
Repeat, Alpha. Do you read me? Did you find Dr. Banner?
Yes, Blanchard, they found me. Now they need to focus on ending this outbreak. Try not to distract them.
For the next step, we will need to locate a water valve. This is located on Washington Avenue, just in front of this shop right here. Once you have picked it up, you will then need to go to the Liberty Falls bowling alley. You will also see that the item has been added to your quest items in your inventory. Once you have made your way to the bowling alley, you will need to find a box for the water pressure within the building. This is located next to one of the bowling alley lanes on the wall. Should be fairly easy to spot. Once you have located it, you need to melee the panel off the box. Once you have done that, you will be able to place the water valve into the water pressure panel, and next you will need to hold X to turn the pressure up. Please bear in mind that while you are doing this, an infinite number of zombies will spawn trying to attack you. This will be easier with teammates to help you fight off the infected. However, if you are playing on solo, you can do some of the progress, run away, lead the zombies away, and then run back and continue. If you do leave it too long between times of increasing the pressure will go back down and you will fail the step. If you do, however, fail it, you can immediately start it back up again. Once you have successfully managed to increase the pressure all the way to the top, it will drop a part for you to pick up called the water pressure gauge. This is a part that is needed for the thrustodyne.
One more item crossed off the shopping list. This better be worth it.
The next part you will need is the shed key, which is dropped by the groundskeeper zombie. He is a special zombie with a special name. Doesn't just have zombie above his head, he is actually called the groundskeeper. From my experience, the groundskeeper does not target players. The groundskeeper will spawn in the graveyard area and he will wander around in a set path until he gets to the corner at the very back, and he will teleport away in a purple mist. If you do miss the groundskeeper, you will have to wait some time. I don't know if this is determined by round or time or the amount of zombies left alive, but eventually the groundskeeper will spawn and he will have the shed keys in his inventory. Once you have killed the groundskeeper, pick up the tool shed key and head to the tool shed. After using the tool shed key to open the tool shed, you will go inside and you will find the handbrake for the thrustodyne M23. This is the second part required for building the thrustodyne. The last part required for the thrustodyne is the electrical wires, which can be found in the electrical store, but in order to open the electrical store you will need a mangler cannon. To obtain this, you can either craft one, which is unlocked at level 20, or you can shoot the arm of a mangler as he is powering up his shot, and when he takes damage and dies from that, he will drop his cannon for you to pick up and use. In this gameplay, my teammate was level 20, so we got him to buy it, or craft it, and take it to the electrical store. Once you are at the electrical store, take your mangler cannon and aim it directly at the two metal doors and fire it when ready. After doing so, you will open up the electrical store. Once you're inside, you will find salvage piles throughout the room. There is 3 or 4 in total, and one of those piles will drop the electrical wires, which is the third part required for the thrustodyne. As you can see here, I got salvage in the first one, salvage from the second one, and electrical wires were in the third. This can be any salvage pile. Feel free to check them all. Once you have acquired all the parts for the thrustodyne, simply go ahead and craft it in the hotel room. You will need to hold the X button to craft it, and it will replace whatever weapon is in your hand.
Thrustodyne Model 23. Definitely not Janus sanctioned.
Once you have the thrustodyne, we are ready to move on to building the LTG. The first part I collected in my gameplay was located in the comic book store.
That's Dr. Marine.
What you will need to do is you will need to look up at this area here and use the right trigger to suck it towards you. I used the left trigger and it did not go all the way by the time I ran out of ammo. If this happens to you, you can simply jump into the part and you will collect it. The next part I collected in my gameplay was in the window of this house on Washington Avenue. You will need to jump across to this van from this roof and aim your thrusterdyne through that little window, and you will see a part which it will suck towards you and you will collect.
Activating your equipment will make the outbreak worse, Magnus.
And the third and final part for the LTG is located in the church which Panos was talking about earlier on. You will need the thrusterdyne again to suck this part towards you, as it is otherwise inaccessible. After you have acquired all the parts for the LTG, you now need to craft it. The crafting bench for this buildable is located on top of Savings and Loan, on the roof. The roof is accessible by various zip lines across the map. Once you are at the crafting bench, you will need to hold your interact button to craft the LTG. Make sure that once it is crafted, you pick it up, also using your interaction button. This will not replace any weapons in your inventory. Now, this is where things get a little bit trickier. There are two ether storms located in the map, which are purple cloud storm electrical things. You should be able to spot them fairly easily. One is at the riverside and one is at the graveyard. You can choose whichever one you want to do next. In our gameplay here, we chose to do the riverside first. This means that the first monster that will spawn will be the Mangler version, and he will spawn at the riverside. What you will need to do is place the LTG into the storm centre, and you will need to protect it from all zombies nearby. Zombies will die instantly once they touch it, but it will also damage it. If you do not protect it within the allotted time, unfortunately, you will have to progress the round to the next round before you can start again. If you fail, this is what you will see. It is at this point that you will need to progress the round to the next round before you can try again. For this step, I would highly recommend sentry turrets, chopper gunners, maybe even mutant injections. However, it can fairly easily be accomplished with either one chopper gunner or two sentry turrets. After the next round has begun, you are able to hold X and restart the LTG device. And again, you will need to protect it. Currently, my teammate is using a chopper gunner, and he is absolutely annihilating any zombie that even comes close. Once his chopper gunner runs out, I will use mine, just to be cautious.
Gateway portal stabilizing.
After you have successfully defended the LTG, a high value target will spawn. The first high value target will be a variation of a Mangler. What you will need to do is you will need to weaken him so much so that purple smoke will emit from his character. You will also get an audio confirmation from Panos that he is ready to be harvested for his energy. After you receive the confirmation from Panos that he is ready to be harvested, and you can see the purple energy, do not kill the mangler. Unfortunately, in this gameplay, we did kill the mangler, not realising what we were supposed to do. If that happens, you will need to go up to the canister again and hold the interaction button, and another mangler will spawn. That mangler needs to be then weakened and harvested, which is what we proceeded to do. In order to harvest the high value target's energy, you will need to go to the church and acquire an ether canister. This object did not seem to be accessible from certain angles, but holding X, spamming X, holding interaction button, spamming interaction button, as you go around the machine, eventually you should be able to pick it up.
One day in the dark ether and I feel like I'm losing my mind. Am I? Am I going to end up like you?
No offense, Panos, but if one of you lab coats was gonna survive, my money would have been on Pelletier.
Yes, she was formidable. But sometimes survival is about the friends you make.
Once you have acquired the ether canister, you will need to take it back to a nearby dark ether trap, and you will need to place it on one of the areas where the dark ether electrical storm emits from. You will not be able to sprint while holding this canister. Once you have placed the canister upon the trap, lead the mangler or the high value target to the trap and activate it. Make sure that the high value target dies within the radius of the ether canister. If the trap is not going to kill him, you will need to finish him off. This is the area where I decided to place my ether canister, but you can place it anywhere where there is a dark ether trap with the dark ether purple electricity. Please bear in mind that the purple electricity does damage you, the player, as well as zombies. Once you've managed to get the high value target, or in this step the mangler, in position, activate the dark ether trap. That should deal enough damage to the mangler that it will kill him. However, if you are on a high enough round, the trap will not be enough to finish him off, and you will need to put some bullets into him while the trap is active in order to try and finish him off. Once the mangler is dead and his energy has been transferred into the canister, you need to collect the canister and deliver it to the church within 1 minute and 30 seconds. Remember, you cannot sprint during this time, so you will need to be careful around all zombies. However, I do believe that the timer does not start until you pick up the canister, so you can use this time to get down to 1 zombie left in the round and then transfer the canister safely. After delivering the ether canister to the church, to the machine, you will find a Strauss counter. Pick it up and this will replace your tactical weapon slot. Using LB on Xbox or L1 on PlayStation, you will need to hold out your Strauss counter to locate 3 projectors around the map. While you are next to a projector, the Strauss counter will show a colour on its screen. If your colour is yellow, always set the projector to yellow. If your colour is green, set your projector to red. And if your colour is red, set your projector to green. Green and red are opposites, so if you are given red, select green, and if you are given green, select red, yellow is always correct. The locations of the 3 projectors are Hilltop Stairs, where you've just seen me interact with the first one. The next projector is on the rooftop of Yummy Freeze, which is accessible via the rooftop of Savings and Loan by opening this door here. And as you can see, my Strauss counter said red, so I set it to green. And the third and final projector is in the groundskeeper's yard. As you can see, my Strauss counter said red, so I set it to green. And you can see by the purple lights that then get shot from all the projectors that you have completed this step correctly. You should now be able to access the ether canister without taking any damage, as beforehand you would take damage whenever going near it. Next, you will need to make your way back to the LTG that you used on the first ether storm. For us in this gameplay footage, the first one we did was in the graveyard at the church. That is where we made the mangler spawn. So in this footage, this is me going to collect the LTG from that location. Then make your way to the last remaining ether storm and place the LTG within the storm in order to start another protection sequence. You will need to protect this LTG from zombies hitting it once more to spawn another high value target. In this footage, me and my teammate used 2 sentry turrets, one each, and they seem to be quite effective at keeping most of the zombies away from the turrets. The only downside is sometimes zombies can slip through the cracks, so just make sure you have a decent gun to kill any that manage to make it through. This time, after successfully defending the LTG from all attacks, another high value target will spawn. This time it will be a variation of an abomination. You will need to weaken the abomination to the point where the purple smoke is being emitted from the abomination. This is a visual indicator that it is ready to be harvested for its energy. You will need to collect the ether canister and put it on another dark ether trap. The abomination can be easily weakened by shooting its critical points. These critical points are its heads. When a head is glowing, it is a critical point. When it is not glowing, it is not a critical point. The glowing changes from head to head. Once the creature has the purple smoke, it is ready to be harvested into a dark ether energy canister. You will need to lead it towards the trap where you have put the canister and get it in the area. As you can see, this abomination did not want to die from the trap. I had to lead it in and out and damage it at the same time. Do not kill it after the trap has stopped, only during the trap, and while it is in the area of the trap.
Oh yes, Blanchard. Once they get back here, we can finish the job.
And as you will have heard just there, Panos has just gave us an audible confirmation that the boss fight is ready to begin. Once you pick up the canister, make sure to get it safely back to the church within 1 minute 30 yet again. Again, the timer does not start until you first pick up the canister, so make sure you are safe and that there are no zombies before you proceed to do so. You will need to interact with the machine to put the canister into the machine, at which point you will be given a prompt to start the final encounter, otherwise known as the boss fight. This boss fight consists of 3 waves of enemies. all increasingly hard. It does seem, however, that the elite zombies, such as manglers, abominations, etc., until they are killed, these zombies will spawn infinitely. So try to focus on the manglers and abominations, and once they are dead, that is essentially the round over. The normal zombies will cease to spawn and you will be able to continue. I would recommend sentry turrets and a self-revive at this stage. I can confirm the chopper gunners did not work in the boss fight. I cannot confirm if the mutant injections work because I completely forgot to use it. I was planning to, just in case things got a bit hectic, and I just forgot I even had it with me. So for this boss fight I would recommend guns. Pack-a-punch guns, upgraded guns, lots and lots of guns. Equipment, not very effective. Sentry turret, while it is partially effective, doesn't last very long. Chopper gunner, you just simply can't use. It just tells you on the screen, cannot use. Mutant injections might work, but again, like I said, I can't confirm. I'm very sorry about that. So yes, for this step, upgrade your guns. Upgrade all your guns. Put as much firepower into your guns as possible. Get the strongest guns you can think of. Wonder weapons, ray guns, the lot. Because this gets hectic. In solo, it's probably a lot easier because you can just run one circle around the entire church. However, in duos at least, this was hectic. Luckily, my teammate had a ray gun, and during the last few waves, my teammate kept going down and he kept firing the ray gun at the abomination to weaken it. This helped greatly. Unfortunately, I had to use my only idle eyes during the very first wave of this fight, which is why I maintain that this is quite difficult, at least in duos. However, from what I can tell, if you take out the elite zombies such as the manglers and the abominations, the regular zombies stop spawning afterwards. You will know after you complete each wave, as after the first wave, it will spawn a max armor. After completing the second wave, it will spawn a max ammo, and after completing the third wave, you will actually go down. Also lucky for us, my teammate had a near-death experience activated, which lasts for 5 revives or 3 minutes, whichever finishes first. And as you can see, that was only the end of the second round when we received the max ammo. Also, the abomination creature does seem to slow down your movement if it manages to hit you. However, you can still slide to get through things a little bit quicker and to try and put a bit of distance between you and it. And as you can see, once the abomination was killed, even though the rest of the zombies weren't, we completed it. The round was finished, which is another reason why I think the waves are based around the abominations. Now, look at this betrayal.
You've hurt them, I swear.
No interruptions for this next part.
Thank you, my friends, for volunteering to take my place here. Or, in your parlance, thank you for being voluntold. Now, if you will excuse me, I have a few scores to settle. Bye-bye, Dark Ether.
Now, from what I can tell, you will unlock the calling cards and the ray gun camo whether you choose to exit or continue. It does not matter. If you do choose to continue, you will receive all these goodies that we do right here, which is pretty nice. We could have went for a high round if we wanted. You also receive a perkaholic. I'm not sure if you lose those perks because we tried to exfil. We didn't die, we tried to exfil and we failed there instead. So I'm not sure if you keep the perks after going down and getting back up. It's possible that you don't.
Now we're cooking.
I'd also like to mention that even after we completed the boss fight and we were in this situation, we were still unable to use our support streaks. Chopper Gunner and Mutant Injections just simply would not let us use them. Every time we pressed down on the D-pad, it would say cannot use. It's possible that that's a bug. Perhaps you are not meant to be able to use those things while in the church boss fight. However, you should be able to use them once you continue playing, but it does not let you. So I believe that might be a bug. that might need looking into. So if you do choose to continue, just be aware you might not be able to use your support streaks such as mutant injections or chopper gunners. And I think that just about does it. Thank you for watching this video. I know it's been about 40 minutes long. I just wanted to put every bit of detail that I could possibly think of into it, so that if anyone has any questions, I understand that this is still a fairly new Easter egg and not a lot of questions have been answered. People don't know what to do if they fail a step. People are being told conflicting information about the projectors and things like that. I've tried to make this as comprehensive as possible so that if you have any questions during your playthrough of this, you should be able to watch this video and have your answer. Thank you very much for sticking in there if you have all the way to the end, and it's been a pleasure. I'll see you guys next time on whatever we do next. Thank you.